This video is going to go over creating the deck frame, which is part of the SACS Modeling Fundamentals document. So the first thing we're going to do is open the executive and go to our structural modeling folder, and we will open up the last saved model file, which is SACSDeck2Part1. So if we go there, we're going to open it up with Precede. So to model the deck frame, we're going to use the structural wizard like we did for the jacket. So we're going to go to File, Structural Definition, and then we're going to go to the Deck Girders tab, which is the last tab. And then we're going to click on Add Edit Deck Girder Data. And you'll see it pulls up the deck elevation at 15.3, and it also shows the 23.0. It already knows our elevations. So we'll start off with the 15.3 elevation, and if we go to the drawings, I think this is on drawing on drawing 202, we can see the dimensions. So the first thing we're going to look at, you can see it gives where our legs are, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it gives the XL, which is the distance out this way, the XR, the distance to the right, and then the YU, the upper in the Y direction, and the YL, the lower in the Y direction. So if we look at the drawings, we see that we don't have anything to the left or the right, but we do have a distance up and a distance below the legs. And both distance from the drawings are 4, so we can look at this and we see the lower Y deck distance, the YL. We can refer to the picture, and that's this distance is 4.0, and also the upper, the YU, 4.0. We want to check off to add main deck girders, and that way it'll add the main girders. And also we want to add the bracing around the perimeter of the deck, which is you can see they label it DKG and DKP. So we see our DKG is here, and our DKP will be the outside. After we do that, we can just hit apply, and if you see, that way we still keep the screen open because we want to do the next level. So we hit apply. You can see it applied it on the screen. Now we need to go back and hit add edit again, and we need to do the next elevation. So we can just hit the scroll down, go to the 23 elevation, and again we'll look at the drawing on page 202 for the dimensions, and we can see this plan elevation has a distance to the right, but it doesn't have anything to the left. It also has a distance in the lower Y and the upper Y. So we can look, and our first one is there's no XL. For our XR, it's a distance of 5, so we'll input that. And again, the YL is 4 and the YU is 4. So we'll input 4 and 4. We're going to check off to add the main deck girders, which are the main ones here, and then we're also going to check off the around the perimeter, which is the DKP. After this, we can now hit OK, because that will apply it and close this box out. We're done using the structural definition wizard, so at this point we'll hit OK. It applies it and it closes the box out. Then we want to look at each plan elevation because there's some more members we got to put in there. So we'll go to display, plan, first elevation we'll look at is the 15.3, and say OK. Now if we go to display labeling, you can see that we have the A and the B and the 1 and the 2. We can get rid of that. So if we go to special, see it has checked off show jacket rows. We can uncheck that. That way this won't be there. And we can zoom to extents, and it makes it a little bit bigger. the first thing we want to do is change our group labels. If we turn on the group labels, we see DKG and DKP. We want to label it W01 and W02. So to do this, there's a couple ways, but we're going to go to Member Details Modify, and if we click on DKG, there's two of them, so we can hold down the Control key and click on the other one, and it'll highlight both of them. That way we change both of them at the same time, and we want our W01 members to be, if you look at the drawing, again on drawing 202, these two members right here are one member size, a W24 by 162, and you can see this top member, and it says the rest are typical W24 by 131. So the only two that are different is this one and this one, so we're just going to highlight those two. We'll go in here, it says DKG, we want to change that to W01. Just put in W01, we hit apply, now the group label is changed. So for all the outside ones, then we can go back in the member details box, we can click on one, hold down the Control key, click on the rest of them, and then go in the box and hit W02. And then we'll hit apply, and you'll see it changed that there. So now we need to add members, and we can do this like we did in the jacket. There's different ways you can go about dividing it. You can use member divide by ratio, length, or a coordinate if you know that, any of these. So the easiest one we'll do is we'll use the length one. And now we're going to turn on the joint so we can see what our joint labels are. Since it's all starting with 7, we're going to start our joints at the 7,000. So the first one we want to do is take care of the bottom here. So our first joint name, we'll start off with 7100. If we click on the member at the bottom here, we know that the length is 5, so we input 5. And then we can right click to apply, and it puts the joint there. It's the same distance at the member above, so we'll click on this member, keep the 5, right click apply, then we have 7101. It's the same distance up here, so we'll just click on this member, distance of 5, apply, and the top member we'll click and apply. Then we're going to go over and look at the next distance. It's 5, so we could just click on this member and apply 7104, click on the next member, apply the 7105. We can go up, click on the member, apply the 7106, and click on the top member and apply the 7107. So now we have all those. We see that there's members going across here, so we need to divide this member as well. So our next one we can do is this side, 7108. The distance for that is 3, so we'll change the 5 to 3. Right click apply, then we'll do the joint right above, click on this member, that distance is 4. We'll right click and apply. Now there's a member that goes across here that we need to divide also, so we'll go back to adding the members. So we'll go to member, add, and these group labels are all going to be W02, so we'll put the group label as W02, and we'll go ahead and add all the members we can, so 7100 to 7101, 7102 to 7103, 7104 to 7105, 7105 to 7106, and 7106 to 7107. Now we need to split this member. We'll go back to member divide by length. We'll click on this member. We know the first distance is 3. That'll give us 7110. Then we go click on that member, and that distance is 4. Then we'll go back to add members, and we're going to add the members going across 7108 to 7110 and 7109 to 7111. Then there's two members going across here, so we need to divide this. We'll go back to the member divide by length. Click on this member. That distance is 2. And we'll apply. We know it's the same distance as above, so we'll click on this member, apply. Then we'll go back, click on this member here, and that distance is 4. We'll input 4, apply, and we'll do the same thing to the member above and apply. So the last thing, we'll go back to add members, and we'll go from 7112 to 7113, 7114, 7115. And at this point, this plan elevation should look exactly like the drawing on 202. Then we need to define these members, so we'll go to Property Member Group. We see our W01. We're going to add that. This is going to be a general member, and where we see the section labels, we can click on that ... and if we go to the library, we'll see all the different members. Now this is a wide flange, so we can go in the library section type and change it to wide flange, where it only pulls up wide flanges. And our W01 is, on the drawings we see that is a W24 by 162. So we're going to look for the W's and then 24. By 162. So we'll click on that. You see all the values down here. We'll say OK, that's what we want. Once we do that, it puts the section label in here, and then we can apply it. We turn on the solid elements. We'll see that that member is now applied. We'll go back to the member group manager, click on W02. We're going to add that. Now in our add member group, we're going to click on the ... again. We want it to be a wide flange, so we're going to click on wide flange, and this is going to be a W24 by 131. So we'll go down to the W24s and we'll look for 131. We click on that, we say OK. It's now put in the section label box. We'll apply it, and now all our members have been defined. So we can close this out. Now we have to go to the next elevation. So we can close these out for now. We'll go back to Display Plan. We just did the 15.3. Now we're going to go to 23 and apply. Again, we can look at the drawing on page 202 for the elevation of 23. And then we're going to change these again, same thing we did before, member details modify. We'll click on the members going across here, hold down the control key, and on the drawings we see that those are W24s by 162, which is what we call W01. So if we go to this group label, there's actually, we can just type in W01 since we know what it is. Once we do that, we hit apply, and those have changed to W01. You can see it's showing it, and we have the solid view on, and it's showing that the members have already been defined. They're no longer the green. Then we go back, member details, we click on the other ones. All the all these outside members here, as well as these members. And we can see in the drawings, these are all the typical members, which were the W24 by 131, and we called that W02. So in the group label, we'll put W02, we'll apply it, and we see it's now put on the screen.